What prompted you to found the foundation, and what were some of its greatest accomplishments in those days?
Well, like it is today, money was difficult, and we didn't have enough to do the things that needed to be done in the state park system. And I felt that the private sector would support the state park system if they had an organization that they could contribute to. And so we set up the California State Park Foundation for the purpose of raising funds to help with the development of the California State Park system. The first project that we took on was to save the poppies, and the school children and everyone else contributed to that so that we could save an area in California of native reproducing poppy fields. And that was the first project and was a very successful project. And from then on, money has been raised for many different kinds of projects to help the state park system do its job. And I think it's going to be even more important as we move into the 21st century, because I don't see the possibility of any major increase in funding at either the national or state or local level for parks, which reminds me that one of the things that I think it's terribly important is that we begin to actively support parks and that we get our friends to do that. Last year, there were 1 billion visitor days of use in the national parks and the state parks of this country. 1 billion visitor days of use. Yet very, very few people ever take the time to write their legislature or their congressman and say, we've been to Big Basin, or we've been to Yosemite or Yellowstone, and we had a wonderful experience, and Mr. Congressman and Mr. Legislator or Mrs. Legislator, I want you to support the parks. We need to get that kind of aggressive promotion and marketing of our park systems around this country, or we're going to lose out. And I think it can be done if we have some skillful interpreters that understand that that's a part of their responsibility, is to get the public to understand that they can't just take parks for granted. They have to begin to do something about educating the public to support the parks. I'm sure that if we close down Yellowstone or Yosemite or Grand Canyon or Big Basin or any of the major parks, that the public would be back of that program immediately, and funds would be available to open those parks without any question in my mind. I think every survey that I've seen in the last 5 years indicates that parks, whether they're state parks, regional parks, local parks, or national parks, are #1 as far as the public is concerned, and the public feels very strongly that any money that's invested in parks for their acquisition or maintenance and operation is the best investment that people can make. And I think people would understand that, and Congress and legislators would understand that, particularly if a major park was closed down, you'd immediately get the reaction, and I think it would be opened without any question in a very few days.